Tell Carrie to be quiet. Just kidding. Evening, everybody. We're on the air, Gerry. It's Sunday, August 1st, so we got another month in the books. So we survived another month. And, I mean, we're going to go through our numbers, everybody. I just looked at mine, so Gerry will go through his as well. But we, appreciate everybody joining. We got Gino, we got Richard, we got Carrie, and we got a grateful man. He's apparently checking his mic for some reason. he's probably talking about us. But Gerry, I told Gerry to wear his glasses because he looks very smart with those on. Looks very sophisticated, and it makes him look a little older too, and distinguished. So the market's actually up pretty good right now. It's up a 155 on the YM. The ES is up 22. NQ's up 62. And the RTY is up 17. So the Russell's up 0.8%. NQ's up 0.4. The ES is up 0.5. And it looks like the YM is up 0.44.
Let's go, Russell.
Yeah, as long as it can hold there. It looks like crypto is down about 1.3%. It looks like oil futures are down about 0.65. So, I mean, just take that with a grain of salt because, honestly, those numbers could change in a heartbeat once you get the European markets and once you get the Asian markets rolling and all that stuff. And who knows what chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, will do this week. So, they've been really messing with their I don't know what, their stock market, currency, whatever, messing with something over there, right? Which is causing a lot of those Chinese stocks to have some tankage. I took advantage of that and got into a BABA put. I got a 160 on, I think, right now. And I already took the other one off, made up a profit, so I put another one back on. So I got a 160 on. Yeah, for September 17th. So I pretty much, I've said this many times, I dare you, get down there. I dare you to get down there, Baba. So let me run through my numbers, Gerry, and I'll turn over to you to run through your numbers. Okay, so for the month of, July, month of July, I bagged $5,400 in premium, realized premium for that month. So, and just to put it at a little bit of context, June was $5,100. So I'm right where I want to be, roughly about $36,000 for the year. And I know people probably want to know what my percentage is for the month. And honestly, if I look at the report that comes out of Interactive Brokers, it showed 1.19%. But if you took the realized profit that I had and you divide it by net lick, it comes out to 1.9. So I really just don't know what to trust. And honestly, who gives a rat's ass, right? I really don't care what the numbers say. As long as I'm up where the numbers or the premium that I want, the realized profits are where I want, then that's all that matters. And I know some people might care what my numbers show year to date. And right now they're showing 17.59. But like I said, Interactive Brokers, I mean, I don't know how they're calculating that. So because like I said, they calculated my July at 1.19. And if I take my realized divided by my net leg, I come out to 1.9, something like that, and change or whatever. So who knows? As it sits right now, I got roughly 6,200 in premium cooking, but I got many spreads on right now. So there's about 2,800 in long premium, and which one of those you technically can't count because there's CCL on there as well. But so I think I have about 2,000 or so in long premium that needs to be subtracted from the short premium. So roughly about 4,000 in premium cooking at this time. And 16 positions, 74 contracts total. I got a boatload of spreads on at the moment. I got an Amazon spread on. I got a QQQ spread on. I got an IWM spread on. I got a SPY spread on. And then I got still a couple of individual positions still. The Palantir is going to zero. Those expire this Friday. I'll probably take those off. I'm gonna take them off. I'll probably take possession of those and just start selling covered calls against them. I got a Beyond Meat and I got an XOP, which is been complete garbage to be honest. And I think that's about it. Art K, got an Art K, I sent a 95. So that's where I'm at. If there's any questions, put it in the chat there, and I'll get to those after Gerry. I think I've gone through it. Gerry, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Well, there it goes then. So, Gerry, why don't you run through your numbers, how you're looking for, how'd you look in July? How you looking now? What are you at year to date?
Yeah, July. July was a little light, and I ended up closing out $2,531 in premium. And if you compare that to last year, I mean not last year, last month I closed out $3,723. Now, it's light, and it makes sense though because I had a fairly large deposit that I made, and I never really utilized it, and I still am not. Back the June, I'm running 50% buying power used. So that would explain having more premium on and having more realized profit, right? So now I'm running. I find it difficult for me to put on more than 30%, and it's that just makes it it makes it where you're not going to make as much money, right? I mean, that's pretty much it. So July is 2,500, and I'm actually not. I'm not upset about that. It's actually not bad, right? I said to myself, if I can average $3,000 a month, I'd be happy. And so, if I look back, this whole year, I've averaged that. So, well, no, have I? Doggone it. Let me look at my numbers real quick. Not quite. Not quite. So that's the goal. I didn't. I'm still running really light. I don't have nothing exciting on. I put on my usuals, weird, oddball, mid cap, small cap stocks. Like I sold a Beezer Homes. People that probably don't know about Beezer Homes.
I know the company.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got into American Airlines. I got into Six Flags. Got into a really deep out of the money Overstock. Sold another SoFi. And like you, looking at Interactive Brokers, it's tough. It's tough to know what the return is. If I look at the 2,500, it looks like it's about 2.8%. But if I look at Interactive Brokers, it's like it's not even 1%, which is odd. But it makes sense because I do have some long position that's down. So, hey, 2.5% roughly on the month of realized premium. I can't complain. So that was my month, kind of uneventful. Hopefully to put some more stuff on. I have about
what you got year to date.
Year to date, I'm about 15,000 realized year to date, which isn't bad. I'm matching the market, so and that's including a huge, ugly January. So I know I always bring that up, but so for the fact that I'm matching the market and I had an ugly January is probably pretty good, I think. So I should be able to outperform going forward. I have about 3,500 of premium cooking, and I was quite surprised that you said you only had like 45. I'm like, well, I'm right there. What's your buying power used?
Well, that's an interesting one because on Friday I take a snapshot on right before I close my Interactive Brokers down on Friday, and it showed 19%, but I just ran it now and it's showing 23. So I don't know why there's a bunch of stuff that got increased over the weekend, and I don't know why, which is odd. So I don't really know what to go by. It added almost $20,000 in maintenance margin over the weekend for some reason. So I've been really late, just like you. I really have been like 15%, 20%. So yeah, I'm still, if I can still make my numbers with a low percentage like that, take advantage of those black swan down days or something, put some extra stuff on those days. But
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't come close to running 40, 50% in a long time.
I think when we had those big down days, I got up to about 37%, and that was it. And it was like, I guess it's a double-edged sword, right? You want to put stuff on, like it's tough to put stuff on those down days, even though you say you're going to do it. You know what you should do. It's kind of tough to actually do because
It is like buying when there's blood in the streets,
as,
that's always been tough too.
yeah, as it's going down, your margin percentage is going up, so it's kind of like you're throwing. It's like throwing fuel in the fire, in a sense. If it doesn't go your way.
I honestly, big down moves like with portfolio margin, it really doesn't go way up like it did with Reg T.
I need to get there.
So
Maybe
you
next year.
gotta keep that in the back of your mind. Like, oh, 700 points down, like maintenance margin or the buying power used, like it really didn't budge much at all. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't understand why it literally bumped it up by like 20 grand over the weekend, which is kind of odd. But I do have an Amazon spread on, and I know if anybody looked at the thumbnail, Amazon spread didn't work. Well, it's such a low delta on the long put that when the stock was down 7%, that thing didn't budge at all. It was up $100. I'm like, I'm just leave it on. It's only up $100, but that position was down 200% in total. We'll talk about the spread itself. And I mean, I don't know, an hour later or so, I was only down $500 in total in the complete spread. So they just drained the premium right out of it, which anybody got into Amazon. Was that Friday? I think it was Friday morning, right? Was it Friday morning or Thursday morning? One of those days, right? The next day, then you probably could have made a pretty good amount of money because they would have just drained the premium out if you had put one on right away. So keep that in mind. Amazon,
What's your strikes on those?
My strikes on the Amazon. Oh, it's a 2950 on the top side, and the bottom side is a 2300. So I got
wide spread, wide load.
Yeah, wide load coming through. Beep 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 beep. I had, I'm not worried about that 2950 being breached. I just thought I could make money on that long put, but it was such a low delta. I might change it up because I think the last one I did where it worked out great. I had a higher delta. It might have been like a 0.025 or something like that, or a 0.5 or something. I don't know. I'll have to look, but yeah, just to let everybody know, I'm still in it. It didn't make any sense to close that long put down. I could have locked in $100, but it would have increased my buying power usage considerably. So I just left it on. But I don't know if anybody here played Amazon the very next day, but you probably could have made a pretty good amount of money by them just draining that premium right out of it. So let's do some shout outs here. We got Richard, we got Gerry in the house here. We got Richard, we got Gino, we got John, evening. We got Jomer, we got let's see here, Thumper. I'm having the same issue. Hard to find plays that I like and get that percentage up to 30%. I don't find any issues because I'm not doing individual stocks as much anymore. I'm just doing mostly just ETFs. So I got like 20 QQQ spreads on, and that's $2,000 right there just in premium. So you just throw some IWMs on. There you go. You're almost there. I don't know. I kind of like that. I don't know. It's debatable.
I mean, it's easy, that's for sure.
It's easy, but it's definitely scarier. I don't. There's no way I'll just do just one index. No way.
Yeah.
I can't just do one index, even if $500,000 account or something like that. Just can you imagine putting on? Oh, I'm going to do 100 of these. I just can't do it. So I would rather split it up. Have an oil on, have a SPY on, have a QQQ on, have a Russell on. And then I got to maybe an ARK-K or something like that. Even though there's some overlap there, but it is what it is.
How about
It
gold?
doesn't mean that I don't do individual positions anymore. It's just selective. It's going to be the larger stocks most likely too, like Amazon, the Netflix, the Teslas of the world, and stuff like that. It just makes sense because Amazon really doesn't have a high return, but Tesla does. ARK-K is pretty good too. See, great job both of you. I'm running very light right now. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully these spreads work out where it's like the market goes down. It's like, yeah, just take them off, or take the bottom side off, and then it kind of acts as as a strangle in a way, but it's not a strangle.
Yeah.
We got James. So what's going on, James? Let's see here. I started trading options routinely in March, and I'm up 20K across all 5 accounts. That's darn good. Jeez. You'd never done options before that at all, and you're up 20K. That's pretty darn good right there, I'd say.
Yeah, he does some pretty he does the shorter stuff, I believe, if I remember correctly. And he usually does pretty safe stuff, so he's usually pretty Dave safe.
I'm not even Dave safe. Honestly, I'm not. I'm not as Dave safe as I used to be, but at the same time, I don't put as much stuff on either. So in a way, I'm a little bit more aggressive on the Delta, but I don't have as much on. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a thumperish in between, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Because I think with the Qs and stuff like that, you need to be a little bit more aggressive with those. So not the 0.05 like I've been doing. Let's see here. Next, Richard. Trade small while you learn. Being up while learning is fantastic. Yeah, it's 20K, man. I don't know. I thought he was doing Teslas and stuff.
Yeah, he does some short DTE, maybe 7 to 10 day stuff.
Yeah, interesting, Richard. Why don't you? Because we used to do stuff like that too, and it's like I used to swear by it too. Yeah, no, I don't miss too. I mean, even Thumper used to bust my balls. Well, it's like I used to bust his balls about putting on those 30 and 40-day DTEs, But now it's like Gerry and I are bored. We're watching paint dry.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not doing something every day, like you always feel like you don't have enough premium on that you need to put more on to make your numbers. You know what I mean? Like Jerry's probably going to say the same thing. You just never know if you're going to have enough premium on. Like, oh, okay. And I guess getting that number out of your head is the first issue that you need to get rid of, right? Because here's the thing. I can make the numbers. I just need to know if I have enough premium on, throughout the month. You take it off, put more on, take more off, put it on. It's like, so yeah, there's always that's always a struggle. Could you put enough premium on right at the beginning of the month to meet your numbers? Yeah, you could, but things change because stocks go up and indexes go up and indexes go down. So when you're up, you want to take that stuff off and put some new stuff on. So it kind of messes with everything.
Yeah, it's a balancing act I'm finding now because I think I just need to mix it up a little bit because right now I got a buttload of stuff out to August 20th, right? The regular expiration. Now I'm building out September 17th, so it's I probably need to have some in between those to make it interesting, make it more active, make it seem like I'm doing something.
All right. I was just talking to StockNinja. Looks like StockNinja is going to be coming on. So, we talked to him last night, and he's going to share a different side of things, which I've been saying it. I don't know, almost every week, every month for quite a while now. Be careful of China. Be careful of China. Watch out for those stocks, because it's a different regime over there, right? They can do whatever they want to do to that stock market over there. They can tank our market, or they can tank our China stocks, or they can literally actually can tank our market too if they really wanted to. And then they can just buy the dip, right? That's probably what they've done. But yeah, StockNinja will be coming on to share his side of the story of getting torched in some China stocks. So we'll bring him on in a second here. Let's get through a little bit more of the stuff here. So Michael Kruger, what's going on, Michael? Mikaru, hey Mikaru, what's going on? Let's see, I made it. Yeah, happy Sunday, happy August. Can't believe it's August, Gerry.
It's unreal. It is literally unreal.
I'm literally, if I knock somebody up right now, by the time they're giving birth, I'd be retiring. So, yeah, 9 months away from retirement. At least my first retirement. I don't know if it's my last, but we'll see. I'm going to hike the AT, and that's been something I've been wanting to do. After that, who knows? The world is my oyster. So, welcome, Mikaru. Yeah, I know. I told Gerry to wear those glasses. He looks super sophisticated and a lot more smarter. So, what up? Yeah.
Sunglasses. Yeah, the reflection is horrible. I don't know what it is. I should have probably invested in anti-reflective coating or something.
Receive. I'll tell you, you gotta, I don't know. Roll it down. I don't know what to tell you. You can't be that aggressive with stock like that because it's going to destroy you, right?
This
I don't know
is
what your
the
spread is.
problem. I think this is an issue with Reg T and doing what I would call traditional credit spreads. You have to be closer to the current share price to actually make it worth it. You can go down there because you got portfolio margin. But if you went to Amazon and went to a 2,900 and tried to do a, I don't know, 10 wide, say you wanted to buy the 2890, you get nothing. You get absolutely nothing out of that. You might get, 10 cents, 15 cents. I don't know. It's something ridiculous.
That's not worth it.
That's what I'm saying. But for a regular credit spread, I was looking at them. I was looking at the 3350s and buying the 3340s. That would have been horrible too. But that's, you would only got, a buck or something like that.
I got like a 650 wide spread on, and that's roughly about $640 or something like that of income. So,
yeah, you're not getting that with a traditional credit spread on that.
No, I don't know what to tell you. 3,400. Just me in general. I wouldn't put a put there, let alone a spread. So, I guess it's the other way around. I wouldn't put a spread there, let alone a put, right? I guess that's the way to say it. It's just way too aggressive for something I would have done. And I don't think anybody would expect Amazon to go down 8%, 7% either, but it is what it is. You have to plan for the worst, right? So I don't know how wide your spread was. Hopefully you just didn't get, wiped out completely off of it. But let me get through a couple of these. We got StockNinja, like I said, in the background here. We'll bring him on here in a second. Hangout, things keep moving too fast. I enjoyed your last video, Dave. 500K just for options is going to take up a bit of your time unless you're doing 20 QQQ contracts. Well, I'll be putting on more 20. I'll be safer, but I'll be putting on probably more than 20 QQQs. Yeah, I'll definitely be safer. I'll probably go down to like the 5% or something like that, probably on the money. And I'll put SPYs, IWBs on all that stuff as well. Why as well? There's no way I can hike the AT for 4 or 5 months and not make money along the way. Come on, folks. That's just too easy. What's going on, Ryan? 9 months. Yeah, exactly. I don't know who the lucky woman is that got knocked up, but let's see here. Gary, I don't know, recognize this name here.
Looks new to me.
Yeah, no. Do you recommend selling OTM puts? Selling out of the money puts. What does he mean by that?
Not quite sure. Day trading? Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you elaborate a little bit more, Gary? Just don't wear those while playing poker no, you need to wear like glaucoma glasses if you're going to play poker. Okay, let's bring on StockNinja here before we get to the rest here. You ready, StockNinja? Give me a thumbs up. All right, got it. Oh, there we go. Let me change this a bit here. Let's do that. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Just it's been a rough week, I guess.
Rough month for you, huh?
Oh yeah. It's my worst month to date. I was Joe. I remember. I think it was like a week and a half ago. I like sent a screenshot to Gerry. I was like, dude, like almost at 50,000 like realized profits over since I started trading. Like seriously. And then I looked at it today, and it's like 25. I'm like, wow, that really sucks.
But wait, earlier in the year, you got destroyed by Roku. So we came up a verb, we got Roku'd, right?
Oh yeah.
So how do you compare this, China issue compared to your Roku one?
Roku was a lot worse. There was no end in sight. Fundamentally, the companies I invested in China, they make money, right? There's a floor to how low it can go. I mean, unless you want to like nuke their entire financial system, it's not gonna go to zero. At least I don't think.
So to tell the people here, tell what tickers you're in, because we've been saying for a while, don't get into Neo, don't get into Luckin, don't get into this junk, right? That's not been proven. You're not in any of that crap. So, and you still got destroyed, right?
Right.
So why don't you just run through what you're in and stuff?
I heard through the grapevine, though, that Luckin Coffee is reinventing itself.
Yes, they are. So I believe they hired a new management team. They revamped all their executives. They try to do, what's it called? They were trying to sell coffee, right, as their main go-to product. Starbucks' presence is like way too big there. So what they did is they revamped themselves into like a bubble tea place, and they had the infrastructure already. The transition wasn't too bad. I was talking to my wife about it. She said it's actually pretty good. I'm looking forward to try it.
Let me tell you my side of the Luckin story, because so I have a friend of mine works at Starbucks, okay, and he's from China. So he told me, he's like, yeah, I wouldn't touch that stock with a 10-foot pole. He thinks it's a shell company. The investors and all that don't care about the company at all. They're all just trying to make money. Yeah, it's kind of like what you said. It's really, Starbucks has a big presence there.
That was my point. Like, their food is good. Whatever they're offering is good. I would not touch the stock. I'll eat there all day long, but like, stop.
Yeah, no, don't touch the stock, people.
No.
Don't touch the stock, people. So,
all right. Now that I derailed your question, can you go back to that?
Yeah, the question is what stocks was he in? How deep was he? What's the probably the money, the delta, whatever, and how did the recent news affect him and stuff like that?
Right. So start with, I was in, I would say, position, well, 4 technically. Tencent Music is a subsidiary of Tencent, ticker symbol TME. Gerry and I have been looking at it for a while now, and it was a bargain at 17. I started averaging in at 15, thinking I got one up on Gerry, but now we're both sitting there like completely screwed. But point taken. This is a subsidiary of Tencent. It's a very, very profitable subsidiary. They basically own, majority of, it's like a Spotify of China, if you will, right? They don't really have much competition. NetEase does have a couple, I think, companies. So that's a small position. I've been buying leaps on them. I've just been averaging down. I think my strike is 15 and the expiration is January 2023. Just been averaging all the way down. I just buy a couple like every week at this point because they're just so cheap. if you do research, you'll notice that it tanked a lot from the highs of 30 all around to like 18, 19 because a hedge fund over leveraged themselves, and then the bank came calling, and they were their assets were liquidated. They went bust overnight. I don't remember the name. So that's the smallest position I have. And then on top of that, I had 100 long shares of Alibaba because I love the company. I mean, I've been to China a few times. They're everywhere. They're like absolutely seamlessly integrated into almost every aspect of Chinese life, I would say. And then I had their competitor, JD.com. They're very similar. So Alibaba is often compared to Amazon, but JD is more close business model to Amazon. So I was like, okay, let's just invest in both. So I had 100 long shares of Alibaba, and I had 3 in the money leaps for Alibaba because I was planning to sell covered calls against them to lower my cost basis. But what happened was it just dropped. I think my average was like, I got in around when the stock was like 220-ish. I had two contracts at that time, and then I added another one. So the average was like, let's say the stock was around like 215, right? But they were in the money, so they were worth, they cost a lot more money. And I also had 5 leaps of JD. So JD is a big company, and I was averaging down slowly. I had initially 3, I think, and then I bought 2 over time. And then I also sold some puts on PDD, which is called Pinduoduo. So their business model is essentially to reach like the middle class to lower tier citizens, offering them deals like fresh produce at like a discount essentially. And then they have like smaller profit margins, but they're also very successful in their market share. So they're the 3 big Chinese companies. Like if you, I would say in that like customer oriented service realm, so to speak. So that was it. Those 4: TME, Baba, PDD, and JD, right? So the news breaks that Beijing is going to start a 6-month crackdown on 6 months, mind you, which is a pretty long time. So my account was around like 245K, I think. I've been trying to hit 250 for like 3 months. I've been like within touching distance. I just keep getting slapped in the face.
Just deposit the money. They put it over there.
I've been depositing every week, and it just keeps going down. So I'm just like looking around, like, okay, what's going on here? anyways. Stupid thing was I had 105 puts on PDD. Normally I just do 2, but I'm like, God, this thing has dropped like almost 50% from all-time highs. It's got really good support around the 105 mark. So I won 3 contracts, unfortunately. They were expiring last Friday. So Thursday they closed at 104, like 80 or something, right? I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till the next day. One thing I think Dave and I have talked about this is if you're waiting till the last minute to close options, it's almost better just to take a loss because of the Vega risk. And I was thinking, I'm like remembering Dave say this to me as I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next day, that thing had dropped like 15%. I'm just like, what the hell happened? So yeah, Dave gives me a lot of advice. I should take it more, I feel like.
Well, why did you get into all these China stocks? I mean, all at the same time.
So the thing was, like, everything's just been going up like crazy, and I was trying to find stuff where I felt like they were at decent values. There's kind of a floor, right? I mean, like my thinking was like, how low, how much can the Chinese government shoot themselves in the foot by pushing them down? Like they're big, like jewel companies, right? They're like top of the list. And I'm like, they can't just keep doing this like every week. There's got to be an end game here. I severely underestimated how much they wanted to push it. And basically, they all just tanked like 14%. I think from that last Thursday till Tuesday, I think they dropped about 14 to 20%, depending on the company. Those 4 main ones that I'm talking about.
You have mostly all leaps on, right?
Yeah. So what
So
I
he's
did,
selling premium, folks. He's
yeah,
not. He's not selling Leap premium.
I'm
He
buying,
bought
leaps.
it.
I'm buying leaps. Yeah. So I'm long, I'm long.
Right.
So what I did was like, obviously I was kind of freaking out. But the thing is, one thing I learned about, options is trading in general. Is like you need to surround yourself with people that will keep you calm. Like, I talk to my wife about it. I talk to Gerry about stuff all the time. And then I just came up with a game plan. I'm like, okay, let's think about this logically. I mean, internally, I'm freaking out, yeah, but I'm not touching the keyboard. I'm not doing anything because I'm thinking, I'm like, what can I do to maximize his positions? What can I do, to leverage myself? Because when I was buying Alibaba at like 220, I thought it was a great deal, right? Given the fundamentals, the research I've done in the company, what I know about it personally. So I was like, okay, it dropped to 185, 180-ish. I'm like, I have never thought I would see this again. And so Dave, Gerry, and I have discussed it in the past. We thought, okay, if a really good company like Microsoft just drops like 30%, what do we do? Like a black swan event, what do we do? We're just like, oh, it's simple. You just buy a ton of leaps as long as you can go out and you just wait, right? And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I liquidated all my JD leaps. I closed my PDD position to give me some more some money. And I sold my in the money Baba leaps. And I sold all 100 shares of Alibaba. And I went at the money 185 around that time. Yeah, at that time it was around 185 long calls as far as I could get, which luckily was June 2023. And I'm just going to wait. So another one last thing to add to that is James Rowe, like he's in the Discord. He's really nice. So he like saw I had like a huge I took a bunch of losses that day, and he basically just told me, he's like, look, I know you're all in on this at this point. Why don't you at least hedge a little bit in case it keeps going down and sell some calls against your at least half your position. So that's what I did. I sold 240 calls 1 month out and just get like around $400 in premium. If it does keep dropping, at least I get something back, right? But that's where I'm at right now. 12 long leaps expiring June 2023.
Straight on Baba.
Just on Baba. So I decided I'm going to go with my strongest.
Really,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. My strongest conviction pick. This is if it all goes to hell, like I'm going to go down with the big shit.
I would probably do the same thing. Like that's one of the only Chinese stocks. I like Baidu too, but it's one of the only Chinese stocks that I really believe in, and because I've used it in the past for Amazon FBA and all that stuff. But I mean, I do have a Baba put on, but we were talking last night. I'm like, I might actually buy a leap on that tomorrow, so we'll see.
Yeah, we were. So earnings is coming up. They have been historically bad during earnings. The last, I would say, 6 out of 8 has been. It's just been disappointing.
Like third, so maybe I'll
yes,
wait.
Tuesday it should be AM, so before market.
Yeah,
typically.
Now, would you?
I kind of hope it tanks too. By the way,
would you add to this if it tanked?
I am ready to add. Like if I just need to deposit more money eventually, and then once I have I feel like okay, I have enough cash, I can add more to it. The problem right now is that the position size when I put it on was around 52,000. Right now, my account's sitting at 230-ish. That's pretty large. That's a substantial percentage. So one of the things that everyone preaches is don't over allocate to any one position, because if it goes wrong, you're going to be screwed. And I'm like, whatever. Like it's not that bad. It's leaps. And now I'm just sitting here like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't, because it's such a big percentage of my portfolio right now. But it's such a good value that I feel like
depends on how far it drops.
Right.
You have one or two,
It's like 160 in the next week. I just drop another
It's at a multi-year low. I mean, you can go back 8 years, whatever.
Right. Just look at the revenue and returns, where it is right now. I think 195. It was there 2017, 18ish, 3 years ago, and the company is making so much more money now. They have like a humongous moat. They're expanding internationally. I mean, their goal is to deliver anywhere internationally within 72 hours. That's like what they're striving for, which is absolutely insane. Like the
That
logistics
is.
to
You
make
have
that
to pay
happen.
for that though, because
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't cheap to ship shit from China. But the thing here is if I do get into one, and I was saying is I hope it tanks. So I hope it tanks and then it just goes right back up, but that way I can get in it. But um, I got a dog barking. Hopefully you don't hear that. But the thing is my exit point would be about 220. That's where I'd get out of it. You just look at a chart, so that's where a good spot to get out. So I used to joke a lot saying you don't even sell premium anymore. You're just a premium buyer. What happened to you, man?
No. I sell premium like a lot. When I feel like a company's oversold or undervalued at the given moment or just bad earnings, I buy leaps and I try to turn them into PMCCs. I've had a lot of success with it. Like, don't get me wrong. Gerry usually like helps me out. He's like, "Oh yeah, look at this one, look at that one." I'm like, "Okay," and then I turn around and make a lot of money on them. So it's not, it's not bad. I have been selling puts on a bunch of companies. So one thing I have gravitated more towards is like selling spreads because I don't know, this whole like naked puts, naked calls is just it doesn't make sense right now. Because I'm thinking like, okay, something happens with the market, it tanks. If you are defined risk, you can still just close those positions, but you still have like majority of your capital intact, where you can then deploy it, quote unquote, buy leaps or whatever you want to do when the market tanks. But if you're like fully leveraged and the market tanks, you're going down with it. So you need to kind of have that's my thinking, anyways.
With your spreads, do you find yourself going? Are you aggressive with your spreads? Because you have portfolio margin turned on, right?
Yeah, it helps. If you guys don't know what portfolio margin is, I highly recommend you look it up. It is huge difference. If you're on Reg T versus portfolio margin, especially when you're looking at a spread, it's like day and night. Like that's where it really shines, to be honest. I'm not that aggressive. Like you can find good deals. Like the other day, Lamb Research is a good example. They had earnings. They dropped about like 3%, which is kind of a big move for them. And I was the bid ask. A lot of the spread on most of the contracts was so wide. I was somehow managed to get like insane premium on like $10 strike wide strikes. But the thing is, I did do some more research today, and what I started doing is I'm trying not to allocate more than 1 to 2% of my entire account size to each position. So if I put like a spread on Netflix, for example, each contract was a give or take. I was doing about like 10 delta usually was my go-to. So it's let me try to think. So it gives you, it's about like 4,500 ish in margin that's used, right? So if you put a spread on instead, you're using about like $900, right? So you can put on about 5 of them with the same amount of margin. So if you think of it like that, if you're making more money putting on a spread, 5 spreads versus just one naked position, you're probably better off. So that's what I've been trying to do. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the buying power reduction on spreads is so darn good. I have to put on a boatload more of them, which is kind of scary in itself. But why don't you maybe just run through, the lessons learned here, new rules that you added? Because I know you and I have talked about rules, and we always add rules. We try to take other rules from other people, so we don't have to learn them on our own.
Right. So the biggest thing is like, don't, no matter how much you believe in any said company, just don't put too much into it. Like it could be the greatest thing that ever happened, but it could not be the next day given market sentiment. Because like I said, I've been saying this the whole night. Like fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with Alibaba, right? This is an extraneous event that they have absolutely no control over. I mean, obviously they can work with the government, but my point is, you can't really, control that. What you can control is your position sizing. Yes, I went too big on it. I definitely should not. I'm not going to do that. I mean, my account can grow into that position, as in like it's going to become smaller as my account grows. But hopefully I don't want to add to it right now. That's one thing. And then you have to be very, very careful when investing in foreign markets. I mean, even like, international markets, you got to know what you're doing. I would say like there's, any political stuff is going to move a lot. It's the same can be said for the U.S., but there's more faith in the U.S. stock market in the world.
Well, there's more faith in this government for whatever that's worth. I mean, we're not a communist party, at least. But I mean, take that for what it is. I guess did you change your strategy with China as far like will you do all those other stocks again, or are you done with China other than maybe BABA?
Nah, I think I'm just gonna stick with BABA. Like it's too stressful, man. Like I don't know. I just don't want to deal with the risks right now. But I'm in a situation where I can't really just like jump ship. And my original thesis still stands. Company's great, so I'm gonna stick with it. But I don't want to add any more Chinese companies. Yeah, it's not just looking at the balance sheet. It's not just looking through their company profile. There's so much more there that people probably don't understand.
You almost need a connection to Jinping.
Yeah, no doubt. I got screwed in Wynn Resorts back in 2015. I've told the story many a times, and that's when I first got that's when China reared its ugly head. They were devaluing they were messing with the stock market like crazy. And they, all this, I think it was Las Vegas Sands and Wynn Resorts. I think there's a couple other, but Macau is like a big mecca for casinos. Like they bring in more revenue in Macau than Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas is like peanuts compared to Macau. So that's when I found out about, oh my God, like China was just manipulating stuff like crazy. They can mess with the permits. They can mess with a ton of stuff. All those stocks tanked from 150 down to $50, So that's where I got my first, Xi Jinping, when I got introduced to the whole China, manipulation, all that. So that's the reason why I don't play China, heavily. I definitely like BABA though.
So do you think China bought?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, yeah. They had the government had to inject funds and talk. They held a meeting with the banks, the major bank holders. Obviously, you tank 14% in the Shanghai index and Hong Kong exchange, and then the banks are going to get jittery because like all the hedge funds are obviously using leverage for positioning, right? So they held a meeting. They also did some media talk saying like, calm down, everyone calm down. And that's what kind of really stopped the bleeding. But I mean, it is what it is. Like there are risks in investing no matter how good the company is. So you just have, like I said, it all comes down to position sizing. And I was way too big in China and I shouldn't have been.
Well, I hope it works out because like I said, no, like they said, like you said, we've talked about this. We've talked about this a year ago, looking back over like March, like, oh, we should have did this. We should have
right. Because
come on. I mean, we're talking about Boeing. We're talking about GE. We're talking about Ford. We're talking about China here.
I get
but we're talking about Alibaba, which is the premier Chinese.
Right.
So it's like it's. I understand the political risk, right? But I'm just saying it's not a crap company.
No.
Yeah. So like ultimately, like we talked about this as far as like buying the leaps when things tank that much, right? So I guess I'm the guinea pig. You guys will find out in a couple years if it worked out or not. So
I'm gonna probably get into one. So if it goes up on earnings, I probably won't. If it stays flat or goes down, I probably will.
Under 200, it's a steal. I'll tell you right now. But
was
take
just
it with
at
a grain of salt.
214 a few days ago.
I have obviously like motivations to say that, so I'm just throwing that out there.
You'll probably end up like making buku dollars off it.
Yeah.
Or you play the same game that many people do. You're down so much, you get back to flat, and then you close it.
No. My initial exit when I got in these positions way back when was like there's a big gap for Alibaba. It's like 260. That was my exit point. At that point, if it hits that, I will sell half my position, and then there's another big gap around 280, and that's my other half.
That long. I'd get at a 220.
Right, but
of course, I don't know what your average is, but
my average is like I don't know, dude. I think it's got to get back to around 215, 220 ish within the next few months to break even, and then everything on top of that is profit. But if the calls do expire within, and if I have to close them like the very last day in June 2023, then my break even is close to like 230 because of the premium I had to put in to buy the Leafs. No. That's like to get that's just, yeah. It's way more than that, I think. Maybe like 250. Because I'm already way down, sorry. 250.
220 is a safe bet. Now, granted, he's in a different situation, folks, but 220 for me, that's where I'll be my exit point.
That's good money. I mean, depending on the Leafs, that's like what, almost 2,500 per contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just an intrinsic value.
It was also perfect timing that the June 2023s came out for you.
I know. I was like looking around. I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, June. All right. No, it was funny because like 2 days before, I'm like, who the hell would buy this? And then there's me scrambling to buy as many as possible.
He's the only one that put the volume there.
Jeez.
What strike do you have? Just curious.
185. I went at the money.
185. So I got a 160 on, and that's probably going to expire worthless. I mean, I highly doubt it's going to get down there, but if it did, I'd back up the truck.
It would take a lot. I mean, at this point, they would really have to do something like, I don't know.
Gerry, you entertaining it?
Probably not. It's probably a little too rich for my blood. I'm already, 50% down on my 10-cent music leaps. And that's all that, I mean, I only got like $1,000 into it. And I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't mess with any more of it. So I probably wouldn't. If my account was larger, I'd probably throw one at it. But
yeah, I think I have like 22 or 23 on there. But they're like $100 a leap right now. At 15, that was my strike initially. I mean, compared to like Alibaba, which is like freaking like $5,000, like $100 just seems like peanuts, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I want to get into one, but I tell you, I don't know. I'm not skittish. It's just I hate when the things go down because it really just plays their hand because they go down fast. They got a higher delta, so they go down quick. The only leap I have on right now is this CCL.
You got back into CCL, huh? I've been waiting for a re-entry on that one.
Because it was lower than my initial entry. Now this time I got a lower. I tried to reduce some extrinsic value, so I did go a lower to strike because freaking James Rowe was, busting my balls. Oh, your average is like 30, something like that. I'm like, so yeah, I got a little bit lower this time. I made money last time, so I just put one contract on, give it time, give it room to move down if it wants to, and then add another one. They're not that expensive.
I think the first time we put on CCL was our like first foray into like leaps. We're just like messing around, like, like how much lower can this go? And then, it was like the next day, it was up like 20%. And we're like, we can't close it for 20%. I think I closed it for like 15 after like 2 months later because I should have closed at 20.
I was pissed because I was the only one that didn't get into it.
Well, now you can, right?
Oh yeah, that's the only one I have on, but I'm thinking I got to look at BABA. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know, Gerry, about earnings. I'm tempted to get one before earnings, but you know me, my history with earnings. So
no, please, Dave, just don't do anything. Just wait. Just wait.
Well, Intel Intel worked out this time for me, so it is what it is. I didn't make that much money off of it, but I don't have a good history with Intel, so
You didn't sell at the money puts, right? Like 5 minutes before earnings.
no. And be long like 2,000 shares. Yeah, that was dumb. Gerry was even dumber because he followed me into the same.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. Dave's in it. Ah, it must be good.
Oh my god!
I do think Intel's still a good bet. I mean, at these prices, if you can get it down to like $50 or something, geez, I think it's still a steal.
I haven't put one on. I was looking at it and it didn't do it for me.
I wonder if there's any questions in here specifically for StockNinja here.
Doesn't look like it. I was looking at them.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Luck and coffee. Not so lucky the first time. Oh, yeah. Nobody remembers in 2019 when it went down to like 90 cents or something.
But Gerry, right above, Gerry expanded on his flipping puts question there.
This one?
Yeah.
Not day trading, but short term, selling out of the money puts for rising market, but then buy them back as soon as you are up a decent amount.
That's what we all do for the most.
That's what we're all been doing. That's like my bread and butter.
Yep. What are you guys doing? Like, you guys do longer DTs and like 50% ish. I don't know. I think Dave goes more profit, right?
I honestly haven't been coming close to 70%, let alone 50%. I had last month I did, but this month, because I switched up to doing indexes mostly, so I haven't been, but I'm trying to push it to 70%. So I don't know. We'll see. But this right here, that's our bread and butter. That's pretty much where almost all of us make almost all of our money from.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to hold for that 70% too. It's been tough. It's because once it hits that 70%, that sucker just hangs. It just stares at you, and it's like, okay, this thing's like 3 weeks to go. Why even let it burn anymore? It just stalls out.
So, StockNinja, have you done any more research on putting on a put every single day?
Yeah. So, Jared and I were talking about this.
Why come I was in the conversation?
You were busy with the work, man. Like, I don't know what you were doing.
You were always
you were like MIA.
I got a lot of crap going on. I got 9 months for this baby comes,
So is that video in Option Alpha, right, Gerry? The one I'm referring to, where the guy. So what this trader did essentially, he's been trading since like for a long time, like 2004 or something. So what he does is every single day he puts on an SPX credit spread, right? He puts one on, takes one off, and he goes about 60 days out. And he was up on the market about, I think, 20% return annually, or 20 or 25%. It was something crazy. And then he literally just puts that spread on every day. I don't know the exact details of how he did it. So instead, what I'm trying to do is every day there's an expiration. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? I'm going to put on 1 or 2 SPX spreads, maybe 30, 40 days out. And then I'm just going to keep adding them and then closing them depending on the situation.
What deltas?
I do 10% out of the money every single time. So what is that? That's usually around what, like 15
like a 5 wide?
No, you can't go 5 wide. It's really hard. You won't make any money. You have to. I go about $50 wide, I would say.
Okay.
So that's typically 3 to 4 strikes wide, and then buying power with portfolio margin is around $2,000 for every 200. I think
you can roll those, right?
Yeah, you should be able to. There's so much liquidity. I mean, you can for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of liquidity.
You just can't take assignment of anything.
No, they're all cash settled. Yeah,
cash settled. Mm-hmm. I guess so. If they don't come out every day, you go to the next day. What if the delta is the same strike you already have on? You put another one of those on, or what do you do then?
Yeah, that's what I'm still linked to learn.
So we don't know the full details.
Right. I don't know exactly what that guy did, but he
Right.
just said 1 on, 1 off. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I'm just going, a Monday, I go 30 days out, Wednesday, 30 days out, and Friday, 30 days out. So that way I'm not overlapping any contract expirations. And that way it's easier to manage as far as like taking them off.
And you're doing SPX just because of the NDX is kind of rich.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, like, if you look at the SPX, it's around like 4,000 something. NDX is around like 14,000.
You'd make more, but yeah, I get it.
What was your thoughts on the rut?
Yeah.
Dude, like every day you're just like, God, screw the RUT or screw the Russell. I'm just like,
Go safer though than your 10%.
I know, but I'm just like, it's so volatile. I know that's what options traders strive for, that volatility. But I'm just like, man, like I don't know what this thing's gonna do the next day.
Okay, I'm gonna start praising Russell. I'll stop talking crap about Russell. Russell's my go-to.
Returns compared to SPX probably double.
Yeah, Russell's. I like Russell.
That's true.
But it's like a love-hate relationship.
Well, that's an interesting. Put the link of the video. Was it a video that you watched?
Yeah, I'll have to find it. I'll send the It's just like
I'm interested in watching
podcast.
it, just because. Well, I don't really like podcasts because I mean it's just blank.
Yeah, it's just people talking. But I'll see if I can find it. Give me a second.
But that sounds like up Dave's alley. Something that's just boom, boom, boom. You don't got 10 delta, 10 delta, 10 delta. I mean, you don't really got to think, but
right.
It's easier said than done.
What happened to the automated bot thing?
We still got it. The thing with automated bot is I don't think I can do spreads with it. I'd have to code that myself because it's not in there. So yeah, no spread. But like I said, if I was going to do the bot, I'd probably just do 0.05 delta. I'll be done with it. Probably on SPY and QQQ. Maybe I'll do that. Well, I have no way to run it, but I don't know. When I hike the AT, it'll be a different story. I'll probably just run those on the phone. I got to learn how to trade on a phone, Gerry.
Yeah, I don't like
sucks.
it. Yeah, I don't like it. I've done it. I don't like it, but
I don't want to do it, but it's the only thing you got.
Yeah.
I've been continuing to play both sides now. Selling calls for the first time naked. I turned a naked call on Tesla and a cash secured put on Friday.
You guys ever think about doing iron condors as opposed to like strangles?
I had one on recently. Let's see. Where's my
iron condor? I was looking at them. It's just more difficult to find, I think, to be honest with you. Because if it's good on the bottom side, sometimes it's like not attractive on the top side, or vice versa, right? So, but I definitely been looking at them.
Did not put an iron condor on. I put it on in the test account because I was testing my script out, so I don't have one on. But yeah, I would really have no reason to do it. Maybe a Jade Lizard instead, but
the broker would like you.
So I'm so far up there. It's just like I just like to have it naked up there. I like to be naked. Tesla's a good one to be naked on too.
Just don't get Roku'd, man.
Well, I don't go in 10 contracts.
Yeah, fair enough.
On Roku too.
So stupid.
It started out as one.
Weekend upgrades.
It always starts as 1 or 2, and then you think like the logical thing is to add more, and then all of a sudden you're in like a dumpster fire. But
I had an Amazon credit spread open on Friday. Friday would have been the perfect time if you opened it like in the first 30 minutes.
What was Bobby Foo's expiration? Because like I was looking and I couldn't find anything. So what happened? Because Amazon dropped so much, 1 month out, they didn't really have anything after.
Well, even if you took the same expiry I had, because I saw my position go from like down 2,000 to minus only 500. So they literally drained the premium right out of it. You could have gotten the same strikes. Was September 17th or 3rd? Yeah, September. September 3rd. 2950, 2300. You have to get the same ones, but
there's like a huge gap between the strike price. It was kind of weird. It was like 3,200, and then all of a sudden you had to go 2,990, I think. Interesting. I didn't see anything in the 31, 30, 80 realm.
There should have been, yeah, for sure. Yeah, anybody, I don't know who, he probably could have closed it right there at the end of the day. They just drained the premium right out of it. That's like, things that everybody's looking for. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think anybody was. It's probably just fooled with the numbers, honestly. I don't think that the company's doing bad at all. I just, how they write stuff off, they have expenses or whatever. They probably just took a charge. I don't know what, but like, take this as an opportunity to freaking pick it up somehow or another, right? BST is a good example for me because I've been trying to buy more and more and more. That's how I'm playing it, right? I don't actually own any shares, but Gerry, you gonna somehow take advantage of that or what?
I was looking at spreads, man, and I just, like Ninja was saying, I couldn't find anything, and that's the hard part is the Reg T, standard credit spread is just, it's not attractive, because I would like you said before, I played it on a cheap stock, but it was like kind of playing that the spread as like a sort of a strangle, right? Because because you can profit on that bought put down there, but with something like Amazon, there's no way I could take advantage of that, right? Because you got such a huge freaking margin impact if you were to take one side off only, right?
Yeah, I leave myself. I can do it, but it worked out great one time. And I learned a lesson this time where if it's too low of a delta, it really doesn't help. Even though last time, Amazon didn't even drop that much. It was $500 I was able to close out that long put for.
But yeah, I've been looking at spreads, and it's like you almost have to be roughly 20 delta to make it worth it. And that's just a little, you could probably get a little bit at 15 delta, because I don't want it to be a extremely wide spread either, right? Because I don't like that defined risk.
You mean my 650 wide? It's not going to work?
It's not going to work for me.
Yeah, a $60,000 loss?
Doesn't.
Oh man,
oh, man.
I don't like the defined risk either.
It won't, because it won't. The buying power won't reduce if I go that wide.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, Gerry is he's close to that portfolio margin. I think maybe 5-6 months you'll be there for sure.
Next year probably.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting to see you flip to that dark side. It wasn't that aggressive. I opened it on Monday and gave it 8% downside protection in a week. Earnings was bad. That's true.
Yeah, that's why
Can you roll it down? You really need to see what happens this week because I was looking at it, and let me pull up FinViz. I was looking at it, and I'm like, well, it could leg down, but it's kind of sitting right around that 200 period moving average. So it's really a good spot around that 3,300, but it could very well also make a leg down. I mean, who knows? If it drops below that 200, then I'd have to actually look inside IB, but let's see here. Amazon. It's still sitting. So the 200 is about 3,250, so it could test that this week. So I don't know what you end up doing, Rajiv, but I don't know. Can you roll it, or maybe you just need to hold? When does it expire? I guess is my question. My ninja.
What's up, Ryan?
Yeah. Not day trading, but short term, selling out of the money puts and rising. Oh, yeah, we already talked about that one. Yeah. We're all doing that. That's literally the bread and butter.
Yeah, you got to go another one. You got to go a couple down.
Luck in. Let's see here. What has been your experience over what time frame with FunRight? What? Who? You're netting approximately 8.5% since start as a payment monthly. What has been your experience over what time? Oh, yeah, it's been almost 2 years.
There's an add-on down below.
think it's 3 years now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Funders is good. I like them.
If you had no issues, I'm surprised you don't bump up your exposure. I have too much real estate exposure right now anyway.
Any
Not
news
just
on
from
that?
Fundrise, but I have realty income. I have 400K in freaking real estate notes. Plus, I have those flips. I got too much money in real estate, so I'm trying to get money out of real estate. It's been good return, 8+% a year. I think this will be my 3rd year. They pay quarterly, by the way.
Any news on that for you this weekend?
On what?
On
Your
your
notes.
flips, notes?
Yeah.
The notes? No. But the real estate flips, they go on auction in a few weeks. And I think that my attorneys botched it. Yeah. They botched it, in my opinion.
Jeez.
I'm going to blame them now. I don't think they're going to sell at auction, which means I got to get them back. And then that's the reason why I've been kind of MIA a little bit. It's just been dealing with that crap on the phone back and forth and trying to get that. Because it's like, if I get those properties back, it's going to be a nightmare. Like, that could literally stop me from retiring next year. Not necessarily money-wise, but just time-wise. So, let's see here.
I guess if those aren't there, you really can't go, right?
Yeah, well, people say, why don't you just go anyway? Well, because the city code enforcement has a lien on both properties right now. It's $250 per day per fine.
Jeez.
So, and they're technically not under my name, so I'm technically not responsible for them, but trust me, when it changes ownership, they're going to still want their money. So I'm going to have to probably get an attorney to go battle those numbers and get them down. I'm still going to have to pay a fine. And there's back taxes, 3 years of back taxes due on both properties. Plus, I got to fix the properties to get them up to where there's no code violations anymore for me to get rid of them. You're talking about probably 15, 20 grand right there, right? And it's just, yeah, it's time too, right? So, yeah, it's just a nightmare. So to bring that up, if I still retire next year and go heck AT while those are sitting out there, I don't want to rack up $100,000 in fines, you know? So we've already paid them. I paid them $9,000 like 2 years ago to take care of fines. It's a racket is what it is. I really need to get like the AG or something involved or whatever, because it's just a racket, you know? Anyways.
Florida's got to make their money somewhere.
Yeah, but when somebody comes into the neighborhood to try to fix up a house to make the neighborhood better, give them some leeway to freaking fix the property.
You would
Don't
think.
lock them up with fines. You know, $9,000. Where's $40,000 in fines? By the way, we got it knocked down to $9,000, and I was barking at that. I'm like, are you kidding me? $9,000 when there's like no money to be made in the property to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. If you don't pay this by such and such date, it's going back to 40 grand. That's the reason why I had to pay it. Like I said, it's a real extortion racket going on there. Let's see here. Why do you want to hike the AT? Why not I want to do both. I want to do all three. I want to do PCT, CDT, and the AT. How about that? Yeah. It's not just the AT. The AT is just the very first one I found. I've done the most research on it. CDT, absolutely too. But the CDT is it's no joke. You got to deal with grizzlies up in the North Country, and means you got to sit down and eat your food while it's still light, hike to where you're going to camp, and then leave your food behind or leave it, hang that shit up quite a ways away. It's just, yeah, you got to carry a bear bag or a bear canister and all that crap. It's just a little bit different ball game. I love to do it though.
I think it's time. I think Ninja wants to take off here.
You want to take off, Ninja?
Got to bounce. Hopefully, I gave you guys some words of wisdom, and hopefully our our idea of this whole leaps works out, because it's really gonna suck if it doesn't for me. So.
I think you're okay in Baba. I believe in Baba. So
it's just the time frame. That's what I'm concerned about.
It's 2 years, buddy.
I know it's 2 years. I know it's 2 years, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish it was 5. I wish I could get 5.
Just pray or whatever. I don't really do that stuff, but just hope the hot lips doesn't piss off Xi Jinping and whatever.
Yeah, we will see. All right, guys. Always a pleasure.
All right.
I'll catch
All right.
you guys
Thanks
later.
for coming on,
See
buddy.
ya.
Take care. Well, that was interesting. Good to have StockNinja on. Talk about China. So there you go. We've been talking about China like almost every week, like most people are in junk stocks in China, right? Is Mar China? Oh, Mars China. Neo. What else, Gerry?
Becky.
You're in Becky.
No, I'm not.
No?
EDU, I think, is another one. TAL, I think, is not. The education ones got hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real estate got hammered.
Let me see. Look at Mara. I thought Mara was, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see here. No, it's USA. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. Just be careful. There's no reason to play all those Luckins and those Neos of the world. I don't care how freaking juicy the premium is. You're at a risk if you're going to get into it. So I already talked about this one here. I like the CDT. It's just, the AT is the first one I'm going to do. Good evening. I got out of Intel in good time. I don't know. I think Intel's still a good play. It's just I'm not in it right now. Let's see here.
There's just not a lot of premium there.
There's not.
It's decent, but it's not great.
No, I like Intel just because I believe in Pat Gelsinger. I know he's gonna write that Titanic and raise it from the depth of the ocean. It's just gonna take time, and people don't really have much patience with stocks these days.
No.
You know what I mean? That's not like it was 10 years ago. Like people want instant, like, oh, it's still going up, I'm out. You know what I mean? So it's the same with AT&T, like I've come this close to just kicking that out of my portfolio because they done pissed me off. But see, sell puts in IWM, QQQ, SPY, sleep good at night. Yeah, keep your allocation appropriate there. Like IWM, you don't want to just do it all IWM in one, and then it's like I like all three of those, but I'd probably go a little bit more heavier Qs and then just a few IWMs and some SPYs. I think SPY's safer, but you don't make as much either.
Yep.
So you kind of take all three of those and aggregate them together, concatenate, or whatever you want to call it. So if you get 9% return out of IWM, and then Qs are right around 8%, and then SPYs are like something about half that, really, then you can
4 or 5. Yeah.
Maybe you'll get like a 7% return or a 6% return or something. Let's see. I can't hold for long. No, yeah, you definitely don't. Let's see here. Ninja rocks. My Ninja. Let's see here. I didn't mess with communist-based stocks, so have no questions. Yeah. You have to take that into consideration. However good the company is, how well they're run, how well their earnings reports are, all that crap, they can do whatever they want over there at the drop of a hat. So you can't take that into our government can do the same thing, and sometimes they kind of do it in a way, but it's not flat out manipulation.
Yeah,
Like it's not in your face,
The Chinese, I was telling Ninja, I was like, they're just straight ruthless, man.
They are, yeah, they are.
Ruthless.
Kind of, Putin buy the fucking dip, right?
Mm-hmm.
China's buying the dip. What we got here, Gerry? Why not put on SPX spreads Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Why not 0 DTE versus 30 days out? Isn't shorter better? I bet you'd have to probably be super aggressive then.
Yeah, you have to be right.
Yeah, I'm not right.
You have to be absolutely right. That's the only thing. The shorter, yes, you get the theta decay quick, but you better be correct. Because if you're not, then that goes
not a
the other way
strategy I'm
quickly.
okay with for me.
Yeah.
Not saying for anybody else. For me, this is not something I'm okay with. I would have to look to see how safe I could be Like if I could allow this, the market to move down like 5% in a day or something, then maybe, and if I can make good money doing that.
You're
But I
not gonna,
highly doubt they would let me do that.
yeah, you're not going to get anything on a 0 DTE for a 5% move. Maybe a 1% move. You might get something.
And that ain't gonna fly with me.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm okay knocking out $5,000 a month. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason for me to start risking the cookie, the biscuit, or whatever you want to call it. This is just, I don't care. I don't need to. So this is not something I'm okay with. I'm okay with the shorter DTEs, but yeah, or putting them on every day. It's just, yeah, I'm not. You know me, Gerry. I'm just never right. So almost very, very rarely right. Let's see here, 820s.
Oh, that's his Amazon spread.
Yeah, what did he give us the strikes?
Yeah, it was 31. I'm going off the top of my head. 3,100
Yeah, 3,100, 3080.
Yeah.
That's a long DTE, Jesus. Probably got a good amount of money for that. Well, I don't know what the protection costs, but I don't think the Amazon's going to get down there. Got pretty good support at 3,100, but the major support's right around 3,000. And in those major numbers like that, I mean, it has to get to below that 200 period average first. That's his first thing that's got to get down. And we're talking about Amazon here. This is literally probably, if I had to risk the biscuit, my entire net worth in one stock, it'd probably be an Amazon. Not Apple. Hell no. Amazon way before Apple. For me, anyway.
Well, Amazon is just so much more diverse.
I think Amazon
income streams.
has a way brighter future than Apple does.
It's almost like an ETF, right?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're fine. It's a long DTE, but you got to see what happens this week, because after that pullback, you got to see what it's going to do. I have a feeling it's just going to parallelize that top trend line and then probably end up right at that trend line and then go up from there, close the gap. It's not going to stay down there. People are looking for stocks like that, like an entry point. Like, you don't get entry points like that, you know what I mean, on a stock like that very often. So people are probably going to be buying that thing up. This is my guess. Let's see here. I think that was the first earnings call without Bezos too, if I'm mistaken, or the first new CEO or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's see here. No, yeah, I saw that one. I guess I'm off by a couple. Trevor Milton.
You went way back up.
Trevor Milton. Why is people against Trevor Milton anyway? And it thinks, Ryan, of course, would be against him, but I mean, how many billionaires or young billionaires like that became a billionaire literally over freaking night? It's like there's not a lot of billionaires in this world, and people give him a bunch of shit over it. It's like, you know what? You're a billionaire. Let's see here.
You got to go down about 10.
Do I? How did I get way up there?
I don't know.
Oh, I was looking at his strikes. Never mind. Let's see here.
Probably more than 10.
Chewy.
There you go.
That's a pet based.
Yeah.
Is it pest? It's pest based? Is it just strictly dog food or cat food, or is it they do like toys and stuff too?
No, I think they do everything. I think they do.
It's like a PetSmart or something.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah, they are.
Chewy. So no, I've never played a Chewy.
I've looked at them, but I never played it.
Let me look at it. It's a legit company. It's not junk. It is a little overvalued, I have to say. Not a little. It's quite a bit overvalued, probably. It's also got a high short float. I don't like that. So to me, it's like it could be a very volatile stock. Like, to me, it's just not. It's probably just, it's not been out there long enough. They need to clear that short float out. and it needs to get attacked by Wall Street bets, I think is what it needs to be.
It's one of those stocks that can fall a lot.
Yeah, it definitely could knock your socks off pretty quickly. It's still a legit company. It's overvalued, in my opinion. High short float is concerning. I guess if you're long, then that could help you out, but could get a short attack. I don't know. To me, it's not something I would be touching, but that's me. I don't sway anybody. I'm giving my opinion, folks. Take it with a grain of salt. Isn't it a good idea ever to trade 0DTEs? I thought it was a good opportunity when the theta decay is on the... Yeah, but you're also at risk of the Vega, Gamma and Vega. Literally freaking, you got to be right. It's a directional trade, probably, most likely.
If you're probably good at day trading or reading charts and trends and volume, and all that stuff, you could probably be more successful in it.
And I would just say this: you're probably not. Not talking about you, Raji, but I'm just talking about in general. Most people are not good day traders. You can say, "Oh, I made money." I've never lost money day trading. Take that back. I've had big losses day trading, but I've made all that money back. My entire career, I've made money day trading, but I wouldn't go back to doing it. It's too freaking emotional. It's too much work. It's too hard. This is the best game right here. Selling options premium. This is the game changer. This is the secret. This is like freaking finding a cheat code to life. I don't want to mess with that. And this right here is just not going to work. You have to be right. Let's see here. Don't talk bad about my love, Mara. Hey, this is not my cup of tea. Gerry, is the premium so good in those that you can't resist them, or what?
I look at them and it's like I look at the chart and I'm like, there's no way I can get into this stuff because it's just every time you get into one of those, it'll work until it doesn't, and then when it doesn't, you're left holding a huge bag of
10-pound bag of shit in a 1 pound bag.
Yeah.
10 pounds of shit in 1 pound bag, I guess. So don't talk about Mara. Like, the thing is, when I look at Neo and I look at Mara, I'm like Riot and all that, I'm like, the premium sucks, in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean? I got to put on 5 contracts just to make $100 or something like that,
But the premium's not bad if you're doing a 20 delta, 30
well,
delta.
That's the problem.
Why would you want to do that?
That's the problem. I'm like down at 0.05 or I look at a chart and I'm just like, okay, I'll put one down here. Like, there's not even a strike that exists for that. So yeah, I don't know. If it's working for you, Billy, I'm not freaking telling you what to do. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not playing crap. I want to make money and I don't want to sleep good at night. And I'm not going to chase premium. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, Amazon, what are you talking about? Like Apple and Microsoft, like they're so safe that it doesn't even pay that much. So I haven't been putting much of those on anymore either. I want to say I kind of do chase premium, but I don't chase premium and junk, if that makes any sense. It's something that can really rip my face off. Expired this past Friday. I couldn't roll for a credit. I choose September expired to get back half the credit. 38 huge loss premium. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole reason to have the credit spread on is to protect you, right? Like, it's not going to rip his face off. It's going to be I don't know how wide it was, but it's still going to be a big loss. But you can roll it, right? Roll it out and down. As long as it didn't, well, I mean, actually, that'd help you if they actually took the premium out, wouldn't it? No, not if it was in the money. That doesn't help you. Yeah, I don't know. Shit, Gerry. I don't have a lot of experience with credit spreads as far as rolling them or anything.
Yeah,
so.
I don't either. Not as far as a roll is concerned, but yeah, it's kind of strange that he was unable to roll You couldn't even roll for an equal credit. That seems odd.
Well, the thing is, they ripped all the premium out of it, so that means, but that would also put him. I don't know. Maybe because his was in the money, it didn't take all the premium out of his, but all the stuff he could have rolled it to, premium's gone, right? So that doesn't help. But I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You should be able to roll. You should be able to roll out in time, maybe not down, and still get even. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't check. I haven't. Like I said, I haven't really ever had to do that. I'm just way too safe. He's allowed for an 8% down. That's not chopped liver. I mean, nobody probably expected that. I don't know what the expected move is or expected move was in Amazon, but I bet you it wasn't that big. So that was kind of a unfortunate event that happened there. But I carried mine through earnings, but I gave mine a lot more move. Like if I look at mine right now, Amazon would still have to move down another 11%. And I just don't see that happening. I hope. I am covered calls in Intel right now, not bad premium for that. It's true. Covered calls. Yeah, I don't own any Intel anymore. It's covered in my ETFs. In IBKR, you can't even roll a spread. You have to choose, then open, then new spread. I have a spread on. Let me see if I have an option to do that.
No, you can right click and click roll. I've done that.
You definitely have an option to roll a spread. But I also have taken one leg off of a spread, and it just turns into an individual position once you take one leg off.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it does in an iron condor, though, if you took one leg off. Does it still show as like 3 legs? Does it show as individual 3 legs or what?
I would think it would be broken out to 3.
Could. Let's see here. Put on separate. Another dumb thing about IBKR, just like the activity statement you mentioned in the beginning. You should be able to roll it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right click. I've been using the right click option a lot to close because it puts the numbers in there, the minus or the positive and the sell and the buy correctly for you. Because you'll get screwed up.
If
you'll
you're
sell instead
owning
of buy or buy instead of sell.
If you have spreads, leaps, and short puts, I would get in the habit of right clicking and just click close. Don't click buy, don't click sell, click close.
So for me, if I right click and close, it doesn't close it for you. It just populates the order field for you. And then you just have to submit it.
You can adjust the prices too.
Yes.
Before you hit submit.
So that's another thing right there, Gerry, that I'm going to bring up. When you're buying back something that's showing a negative number, I sometimes get confused in which way to go in the number to get the highest profit,
On the spread, on spreads, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like negative number.
Oh,
wait, okay, do I need to go this way to make?
Exactly. Because I screwed one up one time and I was like, oh, why'd that fill so fast? Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, it's been happening to me where they'll show them up $100 or whatever, and then I'm like, why is that so? But if I look at my average price and what the mid price is, I'm like, that's only off by 10 cents. I'm like, that's not $100. And then I'm like, oh, I need to come down here and adjust it. So yeah, that's a little confusing. I don't know if that's strictly an IBKR thing because I don't know if it really tested out. Maybe James Rowe can tell us about that. Maybe Thumper because he uses. I think James uses Tasty Trades. I think Thumper uses Toss too. So those negative numbers can throw you off because you might need to go the opposite direction on the number. Let's see here. Thanks. I will revisit Chewy tomorrow. I am in deep, but up right now. Plus Muds announced conversion to tops. What's Muds, Gerry?
I'm just looking it up. Oh, I think it's a SPAC.
Not touching it. Yeah, it's definitely a SPAC. Yeah, it's got SPAC'd out. I don't even know. What are they SPACing?
Mud Duck.
What's that?
No, it's Mud Rick. I just called it Mud Duck.
Where do people find these things? JMax freaking channel or what?
Probably JMac. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the big deal is with SPAC still. It's just, I guess you can find.
Because they all made money off of Nikola, and whatever else companies. And then they all thought they're going to do the same thing. And then they found out that stock market doesn't work like that. And then they all lost money. And then they got hold the bag.
Trying to find that diamond in the rough. I think that's what it is. I think that's the allure of SPACs.
Yeah, I think some of the SPAC companies are not the SPACs, but the companies they're sponsoring or whatever you call it are great. But I want them to come out, be SPACized or whatever you call it, come in to be a real freaking company, put a couple of earnings releases out, get some history there before I'll touch you. Because to me, I know too many people firsthand that just lost their ass in SPACs because they all thought they were going to do the same thing. That the original one, not the original one, but the one Nikola, they all made money off Nikola. Oh, $50. It's like, they all thought they were going to do the same thing because once they go public or whatever they call it, the SPAC date or whatever, they all think they're going to shoot up to the moon.
Yeah. The only one I'm in is SoFi.
I actually think SoFi is decent. I did play that one. I played Nikola too. I made money off of it, but to me, it's just I don't play them anymore. I do like Chewy though. I just probably wouldn't touch it until either it comes down in value or they start producing more in revenue or earnings, or it gets attacked by Wall Street bets and clears out that short float, and then maybe I'd be interested in it. Let's see here. I've been looking at QQQ for puts, but doing just as easy back look at my phone show multiple drawdowns near 20% and more than 20% in 30 days. There's only 2 times that I know of that's probably dropped 20% in the last few years. What, December of 2018? We had a 20% drop in the market, unexplained really. And I think the SPY dropped 20%, so I'm assuming the Q's probably dropped more, it's just a guess, and then March of 2020, but that one doesn't really count. It's very rare. I think we'd have a 10% drop before we'd have a 20. And honestly, I'm not like when I'm playing Qs, I'm trying to set myself up that I actually could take the stock. Like I don't mind taking the stock down 10%. I don't mind taking the stock down minus 15, minus 20%. Right? Because I don't. What's that?
I think puts here too would be, especially on the Qs, would be an easy roll if you even got in trouble.
That's true, but I'd probably play TQQQ honestly if it dropped that far. If it dropped 20, I'd be in TQQs for sure. TQQQs. Let's see here. Puts but doing I mean you're right, but 20%. Like we haven't had a 10% this year. You know what I mean? It's been a long time. We're due for one for sure, but 20% it's not that common. So what are you afraid of? I guess a grateful man. I think a 5% delta, a 5%, no, a 5 delta would get you close to 20, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't SPX only move 0.05 point max a bad day? We choose 1 or 2% a day. Seems fairly safe. Ooh. My luck will have one of those 7 point down days. That'd just wipe me out probably is what that would do. Just curious what comment longer. No, that's just too risky for me. Like I said, my luck is we're gonna have one of those, 1.5 point down days or something. Yeah, I don't know if you can get a 2% in a 0 DT or 1 DT. I can start looking at it, but I don't know. Why? I mean, what's the allure of doing this, Gerry? Because if you're right, it's a decent amount of money, right?
Right. It's just that fast profit. That's what it is.
Slow and steady wins the race.
It's just, I mean, but like I said, it's well, I've looked at the 0 DTE and it's like, nah, I can't get that because the market can move, man. It can move. You get somebody on TV running their mouth and it can make a move.
Hot
And
Lips,
then,
for example.
yeah.
Or you get freaking Powell running his mouth saying, "Oh, we're going to taper. We're gonna raise interest rates." I mean, there you go, bull market gone. And that's coming at the end of the year. I mean, at least they're talking about tapering. They're trying to set it. Maybe in Jackson Hole, and I think Jackson Hole in August. Maybe they'll just kind of lay the groundwork. They're honestly trying to lay some groundwork. You know what I mean? To get people's mind, but we'll see. So 360 would need to be 290 put.
Oh, he's talking about a 20% drop in the Qs.
Yeah. Where are my Qs at right now? I got two individuals on. I got a 320 and 325. My spread's at 313. So the market needs to move down 14% by September 17th. That's possible. That could happen. It's highly unlikely, but it could happen. And people will look at, well, it happened in March of 2020. Like, that's a different, we're talking about just like a normal correction now. Okay, we're not talking about a recession. We're talking about just a normal correction, right? And that's not likely not going to happen, but could. I don't know. We'll I'll cross the bridge when it comes. Mar just another way for a little Bitcoin exposure. I usually take that's not a bad way to put. I mean, if that even get exposure that way. Let's see, Mara. I had Mara up here.
Hey, I was gonna say on those QQQs, you can get 72 cents at 290, 45 days out, 47.
What's the percentage move down? Was that
That's the 20%. That's the 290.
290. 70 cents?
70 cents.
How many days out?
47.
So I'd have to look to see what expiry date was it?
September 17th.
I already have a bunch on, so it's probably not going to give me a true number. I'm just trying to figure out what the return would be, but honestly, the return's been pretty darn good. It's up in like the 8% area. Let's see here. You can't roll a credit spread once they are in the money to another credit 95% of the time when your expiration is within about 10 days. Fair enough? Yeah, you should be out of it before 10 days anyway. 15 days.
Roll, once they are in the money to another credit 95%. Oh, to another credit 95% of the time.
Yeah. The thing is, it should have been closed long before the 10 days even close. Ideally. Shouldn't be carrying it that long. Let's see here. Mark Ryan. Can you sell covered call on SCHB? Cheaper to get. Which one is that, Gerry? That's a Schwab.
That's a Schwab, like S&P 5. No, like VTI-ish type of thing. Yes, and yes, you can. You can. They have options. They'll be
but so does a lot of those other ones, but they're just junk usually.
They'll be low volume. I can't say that. I don't know the difference between volume and volume. Yeah, they'll be low volume. But
tell us what the statistics are on that, Gerry.
The statistics, it's not bad. I mean, September 7th. There ain't no volume there.
I bet you there's probably no open interest. It's probably literally, it's probably a monthly too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cheaper to get in than, I don't know. What's wrong with SPY? SPY does take quite a bit of buying power. I'll give him that.
It's just the actual purchasing of the shares. He's talking about covered calls.
Yeah, I tried covered calls at VYM. It's basically probably the same thing. Probably even worse. Yeah, that's the reason why I kind of abandoned ship on that thing. Went to income ETFs or Devo. Devo's a good example. Use Devo. He's not really in dividend stocks though, is he?
Probably
No.
not.
I agree though. You make some valid points. Not worth the stress of cutting it so close. When did you realize you prefer monthly versus the weekly? I think shorter. Um, everybody knows that I used to love like the 10 to 14 day DTs. I'm like, less can happen in that amount of time. But once you try the longer DTEs, like the 30 to 45 days, it's like, you know, it's a little bit slower, but there's less stress there. There's less Vega gamma risk, right? Like you don't have to deal with that whole thing. You're like literally out of these things long before anything can affect it. Like a down day barely even turns your account freaking red these days. You know what I mean? Like it takes a big down day to turn anything red. It's like I just try the longer. Try a 30 to 45 DTEs. And I don't know if you'll ever go back.
I'm trying to go back.
Are you really?
Yeah, well, I look for stuff and it's like, well, that doesn't seem good. But before though, I'd be I look back on an old spreadsheet and it was like, holy crap, I was in and out of stuff within one day, same day.
Hey, if you get the profit that quick, then that's fine. But
yeah,
I guess with the shorter DTEs, you would have more opportunity to get stuff fast. But it goes against you. It could just hurt you that quick as well.
That's the thing. It's like, because the longer DTE, you can get safer. So that's the whole thing about it. So it really just depends on how your risk tolerance is really what it is, and how much you want to manage a position. Because the further out you go, the safer, the lower the delta you can actually go, and so you just give yourself that much more room for the market to move. Whereas on a weekly or 14-day, you got to really there's not much room there. And any little movement in the market can really start pressuring you. But when it gets to that last day, if it's out of the money or whatever, the last few days, that premium bleeds off quickly. That is correct.
Yeah, it pretty much goes like, well, you can't see it goes real quick, but you're also at risk of those other two Greeks really hurting you quick.
Yeah.
If you're wrong or you just got greedy. Can you explain the Christmas tree butterfly? Gerry, explain that one.
It's not Christmas yet. I have no idea. I saw that posted somewhere and I was like, what the heck are we coming up with here?
Do a video on it, Thumper. You're good at doing videos on like zebras and Sasquatches and all that stuff. So do one on the Christmas tree butterfly. Tops the 85-year-old card and candy company CO will be.
Yeah, Tops baseball cards and stuff.
Yeah, I know Tops.
With the great bubble gum.
Yeah, buy like an 80s, wax box, and you open it up. Oh, there's gum in there, and it breaks into 1,000 pieces when you bite into it. Yeah. So they're going public? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they're
already public.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going public. CEO will be Meisner. Yeah, I don't know if it's hard to reinvent, right? But there does seem to be like a big push toward these cards again.
So here's the thing. Cards used to be. I have a lot of basketball cards from back in the day, right? And I remember one year, like we got a wax box from like '89 Fleer, and I'm like, oh man, these things are the shit. The next year, 1990, we went to Price Club. Everybody knows Price Club, right? And they had these wax boxes, and they kept them behind like this locked gate and stuff. You had to call people over, But that year, the card company caught on, so they overproduced them. So they're like worthless. You know what I mean? Even though the year before that was like great, like an 86 Fleer Michael Jordan, right? You should be able to buy those for $2 a pop. Now they're worth like a couple $1,000s. If you get it graded, it could be $100,000 plus. A rookie card. But the thing is, what all these card companies are doing now is they're putting like very rare one card in like a case, or one card in like 1,000 cases, right? A very rare card. That's what they're all doing now. The cards in general, like pretty much almost worthless these days, because unless you find an error or something, because they overproduce them. So it's all about those refractors and all that crap.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, maybe you can't on mobile app. I use that. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's a good point. I bet you all the features that you could do in the in TWS are not available inside the app.
Yeah. That's probably, or it probably is, but it's freaking convoluted as hell or something.
It's probably not easy to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I need to start earning. I need to start making some trades from the phone, just because I'm going to have to get used to it. That's what I'll be doing on the trail. But honestly, when I'm in a hotel, I might just go to, I don't know. It's not like I'm going to have TWS right there, install it on a hotel computer,
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete.
The web portal sucks. The phone app sucks.
It's going to be a phone for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not bringing a laptop. No freaking way. It weighs too much.
They need to revamp that.
Honestly, the app's not bad. The app's not bad. It's just, I'm not a phone person. I don't like I don't like emailing. I don't like writing emails. I don't like doing any of that crap from a phone, let alone like I freaking learn how to edit a video on a darn phone too.
You're probably right. The app's probably not bad, but I'm just like you. I'm like, what the hell does this phone thing do, right?
Phone should be just for emergencies. Like you got to go get an emergency freaking colonoscopy or something like that. Like you wake up, there you go, you got the phone there, make a trade or something, right? But you just, I think it's smart to at least know how to put on a trade and take one off.
Yeah, you got to learn it for sure.
It's like all good's going to bed finally. All right, all good. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's see here. Let's see. I was referring to as Amazon, which had been in weekly expiration. Yeah. What's a Grateful Man? What are all these? What's all that, Jerry? Oh, those are the
drawdowns.
Those are the drawdowns that we had.
Yeah.
Um, 4.6. Did we have a major pullback in 4.6? No, I don't know what he's talking about. 4.6 to March. Okay, he's talking about the Qs though. Yeah.
4.6. It went up.
Yeah. He's
4.6.
Right.
5.12. Oh, okay.
337 down to 300-ish.
What? I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing 3. Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. No, there ain't 300-ish. You're talking March. I'm
talking February through March. So it was like an 11% drop. Yeah, because you got hit by that, remember? We all got hit by that, really.
I was looking at his first 4.6 to 5.12.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
No, you're looking at 2.16 to 3.8.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it was.
There's a couple of them. Both Jerry and I got hit by that. That's when we actually changed the strategy slightly. I made, $6,000 in January, $6,000 in February, and then March I made $2,600. So yeah, I got hit, and that hit you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hit you hard actually.
Yeah, I think that was my worst month.
Yeah. So then we changed strategies. We added some rules, changed strategies slightly. We didn't go as heavy, I don't think either, all in tech. Plus,
Right.
we didn't like push our buying power. We were running 50-60%. Remember?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that March, I actually ended up down $209 for that month.
I think that butterfly is a Karma Sutra strategy. Probably is. And it's probably got Dave right next to it. Little picture of me. NFTs, cards are big. Yeah. What's the with the SPAC muds for that? Or is it a different SPAC for tops? Yeah, what's Disney know about running a baseball card? Or, I guess they're doing more baseball cards, but what do they know about freaking trading card company?
Well, I mean, Disney's big in collectibles, so.
Yeah, you had a point there, Gerry. Darn, it must be those glasses. My favorite card was the 3 O.J. Simpson's rookie. Yeah, I think they made a lot of those too. So I actually think I had a wax box from 85, 86, but yeah, it looks like we're getting down near the bottom, y'all. Maybe we'll get another 5 minutes and then we'll call it at 2 hours. So if you got any last questions, let us know. Yeah,
so it is muds.
Is it muds? Okay. I wonder if how are the O.J. Simpson rookies doing?
Oh yeah, now that he got out. No.
I mean, just in general, from the whole. We all know he did it. Come on here, but honestly,
I was thinking of something else.
they botched that freaking. They botched that what do you call it? That a trial, big time, right?
If it doesn't fit, you gotta quit.
The glove fit, you must quit. I mean, it didn't fit. You know what I mean? Like they should have never made him put that darn thing on. Like they screwed up. Well, we all know he did it.
I remember that was such a big thing back then.
It was, yeah. I used to every house I'd go install alarm at, they always had it on during the day. Oh man.
That's interesting. That era, our era is just so interesting because there was at that time, there's no internet, there's no, none of that stuff. It was just TV and
Tell you one thing, I wish I had that Bronco. That thing was mint.
Yeah.
It was mint. Oh man. Muds. Good night. We will be back. Hey, thanks a lot for showing up, Gerry, and asking some interesting questions and bringing up some interesting tickers.
Yep, I'll keep a lookout for muds.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to both channels. Just wanted to drop in and say thanks for great content. Working my way through some of the older videos. Hey, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
I like your name too, Random Commentator.
Yeah, me too. There's always cool names. Let's see here. BST has outperformed all the indexes and Qs and offers a 5% yield so rare, but with no downside protection. No, it's not a concern for me. Not at all. What I need to do, maybe I can talk Gerry into doing it. It'll probably be a fireworks video too. We need to kind of do a test drawdown in all these income ETFs. Like maybe go back to like a 20% drawdown and then figure out how much the income would actually get cut by. You have the firework video, Gerry?
I thought this one was, so I don't know how much time I want to invest in in another one of those.
I honestly feel I'm okay with BST. Like I really like BST. I do because of how my engineering my retirement. I don't need I can probably take a 50% drawdown and probably be fine. I don't need all that, and I can always adjust. I can reduce my spending. I don't even spend a lot of money now. 30K is what I live on now, right? After tax money, and I live in this expensive Denver apartment, right? I could always go live over in Thailand or Mexico or Philippines for super cheap just to weather the storm if I need to. It's all about being flexible. So I'm not really worried about it for me anyway.
And I think over engineering or over allocating or overshooting what you actually need is that there's your built-in safety, right? So the downside is not really, say you're getting $50,000 a year in income and you only need 30, you could reinvest that $20,000 into that downturn.
I'm going to, for sure.
You definitely, your income is going to increase dramatically during that downturn, as long as it's not sustained and prolonged for a decade or something like that.
And I just don't think that tech is going to be. You made a good point in your last video. Tech is still going to lead it for a long time. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. So yeah. What was it before tech, Gerry? Was it? What sector technically would it have been before tech?
Energy, no?
Yeah, you're right. Energy would have been a good one, but like cars, building cars, manufacturing, industrials.
Yeah, industrials probably, infrastructure type stuff. Yeah,
but energy, you're right. ExxonMobil was the largest company not that long ago.
Infrastructure needs to make a comeback because our roads are horrible.
Yeah, well, you need to get pigs back in your state first.
Yeah.
Trade them for a large Larry Bird autographed matted game pick. Yeah, I don't think many people here know who Larry Bird is. There's a steal by Bird. Oh, man. I love mobile app, but guess I'll use it. You know who uses the mobile app a lot? Petey.
Petey does, yeah.
He does.
That's all he uses, I think.
I don't think Petey even knows how to use TWS.
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't even know what TWS is. Let's see. I never need to use the workstation. Everything looks so small and old school. Ghetto. Honestly, I think I don't know. I think the platform's great. It is definitely. It's got a learning curve to it, but I've been using it for so long. It's like second nature.
It's just so damn small as far as on the phone. It's like I don't like it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a little behind its time. TWS is because it's using Java, and Java's old. Java's old. It's on its way out. Like JavaScript might not be, but Java is. So it's kind of clunky. It's slow. Like I know a trick though, where how it has to restart every day. Well, there's a trick to not have to log in. Of course, you probably don't have to worry about that. I don't use two-factor authentication. I use a little card that they give you. But let's see here. My last question is: have you ever looked into the 60-40 split in TLT? Being that for safety, I don't like TLT. It was junk when I looked at it. What do you think, Gerry?
Now, I have looked at this combination here. And if you have a large portfolio, it makes some sense. It makes some sense if you are a lot more risk averse.
So you're kind of talking about maybe James Rowe bringing up being in all different freaking. It's not sectors necessarily, but it's different asset classes or right.
And this really performed because the drawdowns, the 40% in TLT really protected you on drawdowns. But as far as income is concerned, it really depends on what you're looking for, right? I'm actually going to do a video on this. It'll probably be on 2 weeks, and I've been looking at it, and it's performed extremely well historically. But again, like I said in my last video,
talking about TLT.
I'm talking about this combination.
Okay, gotcha.
The 60-40.
But TLT ain't gonna make it crap until the market goes down, is what you're saying.
Right. It's not gonna make you anything. It's just gonna smooth out the volatility of QQQ. That's all it's going to do. So it's really, if you think it's worked historically in the past, because look at QQQ, tech heavy, and that's what we've been in the greatest tech run in the past 20 years, right? So does QQQ, here's the thing about it. It's performed extremely well for the past 20 years. Are you going to have the same outperformance from QQQ 20 years from now? I just don't know. I think
Nobody knows, but
nobody knows, but
it's more likely that we're still in a tech boom than we're not.
right.
You know,
More than
like
likely.
I don't see.
Are you going to have, you know, extreme outperformance like we've had? Or is it going to kind of just slowly move up? Right?
I don't really see. I don't see like the next 20 years outbeating the last 20 years. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about like the tech revolution. I mean, we grew up through it, right? You know, I mean, technically it started like in the 70s, but it really ramped up in the 90s because of the Y2K thing. That's what really ramped it up. And all of the 2000s, right? Like 20 years for sure, but I just don't see tech doing better the next 20 years than it did in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, but there could be another Apple, there could be another Amazon, there could be another Tesla, there could be another, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I responded to somebody. I was like, I think it was Mike. You and I both know, but I said, you know, if it's not tech, what else could it be? And
It could be a new sector.
that's what I'm saying. It could be something that's not even thought of yet.
I honestly don't see us having a new sector probably in our lifetime.
Yeah.
There might be like a subsector of tech, you know, machine learning, AI or something like that, but it's a paradigm shift. It only happens like once in a generation or something, once every 100 years, right? We went from horse and carriages and buggies and blacksmith and all that to a car, right? Like that was a paradigm shift, right? And then we went to tech. I mean, tech changed everything, right? The invention of the transistor, right? It just changed. But yeah, I don't see another sector probably in my lifetime, but I don't know. I mean, it could be kind of cool to be able to see a new sector, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Mona? Haven't seen you in a while. I'm looking for your comments on my other channel. I put a doozy out. What did you think of that, Gerry? Popping 4 tires at once.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that. Right?
Yeah, well, you know, at least I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want to do that. I want to go over that damn thing. But yeah, if it was you know, didn't hurt the pocketbook, I thought it would be fun. It's like, does it really pop your tires?
It does. And now with low commission, could probably rely on money, yeah, but draw down even more. You know, there's been an ad on CNBC about IBKR. You can get 0 commissions on there. You had to pay for it in another way, though, with shitty bills. So, just like you would with Robinhood, right? Moon rock mining is a new sector. You know, this Sean person here has got that's a very real possibility right there.
Yeah.
Space. I agree. I think that could be the next one.
Well,
look at, you know, Bezos wants to make like, you know, he wants to make a road system that goes back and forth, back and forth. He wants to move manufacturing out there, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to, you know, everything is gonna have to be tailored to that. So you're gonna need space food. You're gonna need, you know,
space toilets.
You're gonna need space toilets. You're gonna need space doctors.
You're gonna need space everything.
You're gonna need space everything. So
so let me see here. Let me look at. So right now, aerospace and defense is considered industrials. Interesting. So they could make a new sector though for like, you know, what's SPCE show us?
Probably industrial.
Yeah, I would still industrial. So they have to break that out. So it's shown industrials, but yeah. Moondozer. That's funny. So right now, the space toilets just flushes the shit right out of the freaking capsule out in the space. So there's a lot of I've talked about this before. There's a lot of trash out in space. They just dump stuff out there. I mean, granted, space could be infinite, right? But there's so much. We freaking pollute space already, all these satellites that are dead, it's like, geez. Great. Thanks for bringing that up, Sean. I didn't think of that one, but that one's a very real. You're probably right. That's probably a good possibility. I like to think like that too, Gerry. Like, where are we, 20 years from now, like, because if you can think about all the things that could change, you could actually pick some great companies, right? Like, think about, for example, like a lot of people don't think about this, like if we get to be more EV, right? Like we're almost all EV, right? What do you think is going to happen? Cops are going to go away, tickets are going away, all that revenue. Nobody thinks about all that stuff, right? Like, what are those cities going to do for revenue? And, it's like cops, because it's all self-driving. Nobody's going to speed, so there's a lot of different shifts there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you can kind of shift, like if you can kind of anticipate some of that stuff's going to happen, then you could be on the right side of some great companies. Let's see here. Shit, sorry, I'm so late. Yeah, we're about to take off, Damien. We're doing great. We had a great weekend. And let me look at where the futures are. Futures, we're still up pretty good, actually. It hasn't really changed much since we've been on this stream. So,
yeah, I got to look at it again at like midnight or something.
Yeah, if you can. Well, for you, midnight. Well, yeah, you'd have to wait till 1 a.m. for you. That's when it starts printing a little bit. Let's see here. Cat Moondozer, Amazon down 7% one day. Yeah, I think it's a buying opportunity. Just see where it goes next week, though. It might test that 200 period average, and that may be a pretty good spot to get in. Maybe tip your toes in a bit. Waste space management. There you go.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You're going to need, you're going to need sewage management. You're going to need water management. You're going to need.
There's no water up there.
What are you going to build houses out of? Right? Just rock?
I don't know. There's so much that you can. We're not even thinking what the possibility is. Crazy.
We'll go back to the Flintstone days where everything's just made of rock.
And we pedal the cars with our feet. Let's see here. What plays you looking at for? I don't know. I have no there's nothing I have anticipating to put it on except for maybe Baba, but I'm gonna probably wait till after earnings for that. So what about you, Gerry? You got anything you're like looking at, eyeing up?
No, I got a couple of things that I have that has got some earnings next week, like Vizio. What else? There was another one that had earnings next week, but I forget. Maybe Smith. No, it's not Smith and Wesson. Vizio for sure has earnings next week. I'll probably add on to my position there.
He's just busting my balls at this point. Damn Cody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he'd be still touching that. I did buy 3 shares of Amazon on the dip. I think it's a great purchase. Even if it goes down further, it's still a good purchase at this price. Like, I think that Amazon's going to give it 20 years, right? They're just going to, they're already literally taking over, but they're going to just even be more dominant than they already are. What's MGP, Gerry? You know what that one is?
I believe that's a casino or.
It's a diversified REIT.
Marriott. Is it Marriott or MGM? MGM.
Yeah. I don't think that MGM has, I could be wrong, I don't think they have exposure to Macau. I don't think Caesars does. Yeah. I wouldn't play a casino that has any exposure to Macau probably right now. I don't know. It's risky for sure. What's going on, Sky Investor? Long time no see, buddy. I actually like Neo, but it's communist stock, so buy Ford. We were just talking about this yesterday, weren't we? About Ford.
Yep.
Ford is like the most I've ever seen that stock in my lifetime is like $17. So for it to be at 14 and just like 17 like a few months ago, jeez, man, that's a major comeback they had.
I mean, look, Ford and GM are going to lead EV.
You think a lot of people are going to disagree with you there.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
I won't disagree with you.
You think they're going to just roll over?
They're not. Well, I've said that. They're not rolling over. They're not. And the thing is like everybody always says they're so far behind. They're so far behind. I can tell you this right now. They've been working on EV long before Tesla even existed. You just didn't know it.
So which one, Ford or GM? What would you buy right now if you had to buy one?
I'm a Ford fan, but honestly, I don't know. Stock-wise, I don't really know. I've owned a lot of Fords in my day. I've owned a Corvette too, so I don't know. I like GM too, but Ford's got an interesting portfolio right now. We looked at it the other day. Like they got like one sedan or something, one car. That's it. The rest is freaking SUVs, crossovers, and that's pickups, vans.
Yeah, I'd probably go Ford, but I'm a Ford guy too. GM, I don't know. I don't like that they went bankrupt. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Ford's got a lot more pride. They have a lot more pride, and there's no way that they. If you listen to CEO talk, it's like he's like they're not gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Anyways, but I'd say this: I don't like the entry point at Ford right now. $14.
I was for damn sure that thing was going to $3, and I was like, I'm gonna buy quite a few hundred shares right there. It's only gonna be like $1,000 invested, and look, never got there. Got close.
I had several thousand shares of Ford at one time. It's the only stock I ever had a margin call on, and I remember in 2008, 2009, like it was yesterday, $1.80 or something like that, and it tanked down there because they said we might have to take a bailout or something like that. And, GM's like, as that point, it's my very first option in my entire life, bought a freaking call on GM and it goes bankrupt and then lost all my money. And, a year or two later, they come back out.
Yeah.
I only have 10 years, Dave. For what? You retired in 10 years? Hold your Amazon shares.
For Amazon to
very
go
hard to hold those Amazon shares for 10 years. I probably couldn't even hold it for a month. That's my problem. I'm trying to play it through ETS at this point. Nevada is way too hot for me. I agree. Let's see, 20 years and 20. Let's see, in 20 years and 20. Alibaba. I don't know about that. I don't see that happening. What was the company I was looking at the other day, Gerry? They're a $1 trillion company. Oh, Facebook. Facebook is a $1 trillion company. When did that happen? And nobody freaking mentioned it. Nobody even realized it.
I don't look at that stuff, so
that's crazy. It just wasn't that long ago that we're like, waiting for the first $1 trillion company, And it ended up being Apple, but we all pretty much knew it was going to be Apple. But still, now it's $2 trillion or something, Anyways, Wynn Resorts would be my choice. I got history with Wynn Resorts. That did some major pain to me. And that's what happens. You trade from a freaking phone when you're on vacation. I'm going to make some quick money and pay for my hotel, You just throw a put out there. Oh, God. Ever hear of a proud GM owner? Not Ford. You betcha. My grandpa used to always call it General Mess of Crap for GMC. Both my grandpas were major Ford fans. Ford trucks, Ford Pinto, Mercuries. You know what I mean? So, and I've owned a lot of Mustangs, but I'm not hating on GM at all. I just I've only owned a Corvette, so Yeah, I don't know. I still prefer Ford trucks over GM though. That's just me.
I was a GM guy for a long time, and I got an F-150 back in 2007 or 8, and I just never looked back.
I knew somebody would bring that up. Fix a repair daily.
Yeah. Found on road dead.
Yeah, first on race day. Fucked over rebuilt Dodge. Oh, man, those are some old school ones. Did you guys think we will have lockdowns again? If we do, it's not because of the Delta virus, technically. If we do, it's because they're trying to get more people vaccinated. Has nothing to do with Delta, in my opinion. They're going to use that as the excuse, is what they're doing. That's just what I feel.
I don't know how many people would comply this time around.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting over. It's played out too much at this point. Like what they're trying to do at this point is just gone out of. It's just ridiculous in my point. Move to Florida. Yeah, maybe. She gone. They have a lot of Ford Lightning residents. Yes, they do. 150,000. Yeah. How much does the Cybertruck have right now?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You are not. The Cybertruck is going to get stepped on by Ford F-150. There's no way that they can compete with the F-150.
I completely agree.
There's
There's
way
diehard Ford people out there, like freaking West Virginia folks and stuff.
There's
They're
no way.
going to be buying no Cybertruck, driving that crap down in some podunk town in West Virginia. I can tell you that right now.
No way in hell Tesla will be able to convert any significant number of F-150 drivers. No way. No way. Period.
I tell you what, every Tesla freaking cult follower out there is going to disagree with you, but they just don't know these diehard Ford truck pickup fans. They really don't. Or American made in general, right? I mean, I guess Tesla's considered American made, right? But the Ranger, Jerry, what do you think about that?
I don't know. It doesn't hit me very well.
Yeah, small trucks kind of went away. And they used to be small too. Remember the Ford Courier and
Chevy Love.
Yeah. And then he came out with like the mid-range, like, the S10s and
the little truck I do like that they just remodeled, Nissan Frontier. I think that's a good looking truck.
Yeah, Frontiers are not bad. The Tacoma's nice too, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Traded Square was, yeah. I honestly, Square and PayPal are getting pretty something you should look at. They're getting down there. I don't know what he's asking. Oh, sitting on umbrella, yeah.
Oh, he paid for his vacay.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't work out for me very well. Let's see here. They don't even have the factories to do it, Tesla. Maybe they can so Ford moved a lot. I mean, so I think maybe GM. I know Ford moved a lot of their manufacturing down to Mexico. They always have Motor City they can revamp. I mean, that place is a ghost town. They can always revamp that area. I thought they did open some new ones up there, or open some existing ones back up. Electric vehicles. My question is, if you show up to like ExxonMobil as an employee and you have an electric vehicle, you get fired immediately?
Yeah, these construction sites, like these people, they're probably, if they're forced into electric vehicles, are they going to be carrying a freaking gas generator in the back of the truck?
I think that all the golf carts will go straight electric, but what if you showed up to, a Tesla facility in an electric F-150? Then what? That's instant firing right there. Let's see here. That's the main buyer of all full size trucks. Yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, you're right. We talk about the leased
Yeah.
vehicles, the fleet vehicles. Um, it's not going to be a Tesla. It's going to be it'd probably be an electric vehicle, but it's not going to be a Tesla, in my opinion. Production capacity to match Ford's numbers. That is, yeah, that's a good point. Let's call it here. We've been on for 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours, so we'll call it here. Thanks for joining, everybody. I don't even know what he's talking about here.
Yeah, I don't either.
So typical Cody. So, all right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining. Let's everybody have a great week too. Let's not have any, 700-point down days and crap like that. I'm gonna keep my eye on Baba. I might keep my eye on an Amazon as well, but I'm looking to maybe get in a Baba Leap. Gerry, any last final words?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Probably still build out September and might even add a little bit to August, but won't know until I get there. So everybody have a good week.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Take care.